Amanda Harcourt really does act as if she's covered all of the bases and everybody agrees with her. Well, she's done this while talking to virtually nobody. I happen to know someone who agrees that if they in 1984 knew about Gail Burstyn, to say the whole is greater than the sum of its parts is a highly irregular communication to be conveyed. So, given that she has convinced some people, how is that possible? Something about King Crimson's first record, their famous song that was the title of their first album, reminds me of Ronald Reagan's tirade in Dangerous Journey when he kicks his feet up on a Nazi general's desk and talks in rapid mechanical speak about America's secret weapons. And the general eyes glaze over and pretends to understand. Yes, yes, yes. You see, King Crimson in their lyrics doesn't say anything that could really be taken apart and applied to language in such a way as to determine what they had said. But it does have a certain kind of um, grip on the imagination. So what it is you think, oh, there must be some hidden, deeper, mystical meaning in all of this because it appeals to me so much. And that's how they get over. And Amanda Harcourt saying the whole is greater than the sum of the parts is actually a very banal and stupid thing to say under the circumstances, as other people have noticed. But she evokes it with the shadow play of this idea of a sort of paramysticism, higher than all the science and accuracy of um, positivism that you would find at a place like Princeton. So um, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts comes barreling down the highway as a killdozer, meaning from In the Court of the Crimson King. It's a mystical um, super insight that all must subscribe to because the Beatles do. What else do the Beatles subscribe to is Martin Edelman. You would ask anybody at Taylor Oldham High School about that one, particularly Professor Phillips, and you would find that everybody knew him to be a criminal and a con artist. But he was successful, like Shulman was, in ripping off the museum and taking over Wells Fargo. So that's the sort of thing that McCartney sees eye to eye with. It's a lot of money, just like they stole a lot of money from Iraq. And the Lisper sister went on 60 Minutes with the man who supplied the pretext about weapons of mass destruction. He's also the man who covered for the My Lai massacre. McCartney's foreboding that his gang shouldn't tamper with sensibilities about things like the Vietnam War became sort of enshrined in his work with Martin Edelman. Again, anybody who knew him in high school would have laughed. He's a con artist. You know, you're not, if you're me, allowed to say anything about the women that he was deploying for his maniacal stunt when it came to me. But um, the truth is that there was a maniacal stunt, and it was coming from Edelman and McCartney, who were partners all along, evidently. Gail Burstyn appears on a 1979 cover of Robert Fripp's record. So Her Majesty's government came up with an explanation that was pure soothsay. The whole is greater than the sum of parts means we're not going to take on the people who did this. We are the people who did this. Instead, we're going to be vultures pecking at the eyes of someone who Yoko Ono once sacrificed because of my father's role in the victory at sea. And it was clear that Martin Edelman's gang stuck together, worked together, lied together, and were the type of Zeos who went on the radio, and I mean, well, not only on the radio as Abdul the terrorist, but went on television in Tel Aviv saying that how much better they are than anybody else. One of Edelman's closest friends sat there hissing. When I asked him what was wrong, he said, "Are you ever obsessed with your superiority over everyone else?" I said, "No." And he said, "I try hard not to be embarrassed by your inferiority." This is the sort of people they are. And it's extremely dangerous to ignore it because they went for the throat of the United States. They really did. And they're putting on a puppet show with someone like Joe Biden. And it's really getting ugly. What they've done to Gaza is rip snorting neo-Nazism, the lowest order. And they all had the backing. They got away with this because of Amanda Harcourt's la-di-da about one size fits all, and everybody loves the Beatles. And they were like, just let us do this. We'll do this one. That's where they were coming from. Zappa was an intelligence agent. He was, in the politics of the issue, he was closest to Václav Havel, who in the politics of the issue was closest to George Bush. Rip was talking Bush. He came over to me and said, "We're here to talk about being sensitive and caring." And no sooner did he do that, that Bush said something about being a kinder, gentler nation.